And welcome back to the Delaware Boys Dynasty Football Podcast, a special episode tonight. We got four guests, top left corners, Ryan, and myself, your co-host. Ryan, what's up? How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Think I'm having some difficulties here, but
yeah, your screen's a little frozen on my end.
yeah, I'm a little bit frozen up right now. No big deal. But yeah, feeling good. I'm excited about this draft. We've been trying to get this together for like 3 weeks now. So we're a little bit
yeah, it's a great time. It's a great time in the fantasy world. Sunday, fantasy draft for AJ's. The week after is Chuntz's. AJ, bottom right corner. Chuntz, the ugly ass Ravens gear on, bottom left corner. And then, of course, always good to be welcomed into Marshall and Spicer in the middle. Before we get started, just a little rundown. You know, we do it for everybody. Marshall, when did you start playing fantasy football? How'd you get into this? And, you know, what's your biggest influence when it comes to dynasty football?
I think I started in 2007, 2008. It started with my brother, you know, when he was hanging out with his boys, my older brother, just hanging out, talking shit, football. It got me intrigued. I like hanging out with the boys, drinking with the boys, arguing football. It's just been a drug since, man. The whole time.
When was your first dynasty league? Who'd you join? Who'd you play with?
It was with AJ. AJ's first one, yeah. I've been in keeper leagues, but they're not the same. You get to keep somebody for 3 years, they leave, but dynasty just has a lot more strategy and everything to it. If you miss a pick, it really jacks you up for a long run.
Mm-hmm. So in your keeper leagues, I'm assuming traditional 1 QB, right?
Yes.
So how was the switch over to Superflex when AJ first started that?
I didn't think the Superflex was going to be that serious until it was. My teams would be competitive, but they would just get beat in the playoffs, weeks. Like AJ was one of them this year. When it goes down with Herbert and Rodgers, I had Allen, which was cool, but whenever I got Carson Wentz, Tua, and Davis Mills, the Don.
Shout out the Don.
I can't keep up with them. So it's hard to keep up with them playoff the annual playoff teams. It's hard keeping up with them whenever they have that. So I made some switch ups and hopefully it pans out pretty well for me.
I know I can't say anything to Frankie or anything like that, anybody else in the league, but you know, that I told everybody up front, up top, the contenders, it's a dogfight, bro. That league is real serious in the top 6 teams, seven teams. Teams are definitely getting better too. But you come in with the best QB pairing in the league. You have Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen. Some serious trades on your part in the offseason. And some for your football team too, man. You know, you guys retool, revamp, man. You know, hopefully it's a good season for you. Go Fins.
Well, go figure. The day I trade for Patrick Mahomes, I give up Tyreek Hill. So, I mean, it's bittersweet, but that I'll take Patty, but I'll stick with Waddle too.
Good deal, Spicer. Tell me a little bit about your fantasy experience. When did you start playing fantasy football? When did you get into dynasty football?
I started playing about, I don't know, it's been 14, 15 years ago. I started my own league. It was the very first one I ever played in. A bunch of my family and friends wanted to play in it, so I started one up, and I've been running it ever since.
I'll tell you what, you kind of got a little bit of a disadvantage in Deli's league, man. You took over probably one of the worst orphans I've ever seen. Was that a challenge for you?
It was, and it still is. I was hoping to be in that league from the beginning, but didn't work out, and I ended up taking over that team. I'm just in a rebuild mode, trying to compile picks and do all I can to make my roster better for over the next few years. I'm not in championship contention mode right now.
So you got what, pick 3 and 6? So
yeah, I got 103 and 106.
Any thoughts on the pick? Any players you want to fall to?
You know, I need my running back is real weak on, or my roster is real weak on running back. So I'd like to get one of the running backs, but it's already been made known to me through a private message that I won't be getting either of them. nor can I give up anything in a trade to get either of them. He will not accept anything in a trade. So I'm just going to take one of the wide receivers, which is just going to be the best one I believe is there. I haven't decided which one that is yet, but it's either going to be London or Garrett Wilson. I think they're the two best, and I have since before the draft process.
Good deal.
Listen, Brock, I wouldn't hold your breath too much, man. He's still up in the air. He doesn't know if he wants Walker. He's still talking about London and Burks to this day. So don't worry about it yet.
Don't worry about the smoke. I like it.
Yeah, don't listen to the smoke.
Chuntz, buddy, we started playing fantasy football. It feels like at least 10 years ago together, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Between your Yahoo leagues and all that, I mean, we've all played in a close group. Me, you, AJ, Cody. I mean, it expands amongst our friends group. It's been real competitive, real fun time. Then you started a 14-team dynasty this year, which was probably the most challenging thing that I've done in a while, man. It's tough. Like, I was talking to AJ and Ryan about it and everything. Depth in that league is key. I mean, absolutely key. And AJ won it with the best QB pairing in the league, but not much depth otherwise. Like, I mean, AJ, you said what? Cordell Patterson, like guys like that.
I had Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes as my quarterbacks, but I won with Darrell Williams and C-Pat as my running backs, and then wide receivers I had I can't even remember. Stephon Diggs. He was my one, and I had Travis Kelce, and I had a bunch of flyers.
Right.
But in a 14 man, sometimes you got to have a little bit of luck on your side.
You're not lying. But Chuntz, tell me a little bit, like, what made you start wanting to play fantasy football?
Well, just growing up, being with friends, family, always football. So in high school, a bunch of guys were like, let's just start a fantasy league. Wasn't for money or anything, but it was like 2008, 2009.
It's been that long.
I think I won the first season. I won with the second year Chris Johnson and second year Jamal Charles was like my carry for that year. And then my first dynasty league was the one I started. So,
how's your experience been in that so far?
It's challenging, very challenging. At first, I didn't think it would require having two, top end QBs, but now I see it.
I mean, you got a good start, though. You do own Justin Herbert, which is a hell of a start.
I've got Herbert. I've got a couple of key pieces. I just, I need people to wake up and play better, honestly. Right. I feel like my team was way too good to finish last.
You got to hit the agents up, tell them to play better. You got money on it.
I do. I need to call them up.
But, I appreciate everybody being here. Like I said, 16 mock draft is what we're going to be doing tonight. Going to take some time, just, talk about the picks, things like that. Snake style, we're not going to do linear because it's only 6. We voted on 4 rounds, so we're going to run through 4 rounds. I will be sharing the screen. Give me 1 second to pull up Sleeper. That's not it. That's a picture of my daughter and my wife.
That's a beautiful family right there.
Yeah, my beautiful family. All right. Okay, let me kill this edit tab. Boom, boys. And we are full screen. When everybody is here you guys want to pull up on your computers and stuff, pull into the draft, I will start the draft. I'm just missing AJ and Spicer.
They're here. They're just going to be off screen.
I mean, yeah, if you want to do it from your phone too, which is so you stay in the live chat, which is cool too. But like I said, we got 10 minutes between each pick. You don't have to take the full 10, but between that 10, let's just explain the picks a little bit. We had a lot of rookies go really relatively early in our commissioners league, Ryan, AJ, to be honest with you. I was the first one that took a rookie. I took Breece Hall.
3-2.
3-2.
3-2. Yes, sir. Right with my Kyle Pitts pick.
I think London went
4-1.
4-1. Treylon went in the 5th round. I want to say
that's too rich for me. All of the rookies went too high. But you got to get your guy. If they hit, they hit.
Yeah.
I was always a believer that you got to buy into the stardom before they become stars. You know what I mean? Before you have to pay that premium price.
Yeah, but it could also set you back too.
It could. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Especially in a startup draft, you're banking a lot on the New York Jets running back. I'm just saying, track record speaks for itself a little bit. But hey,
I feel that too.
The Jets, they got something cooking over there.
Before I start this draft, Frankie has this thing where he does not buy in on any Detroit Lions or Jets fantasy players. Are you guys with that or are you guys against that?
Well, Frankie actually went against his grain and took T.J. Hawkinson in the 5th.
Yes, he did.
He talked about it, though. He owned up to it. He said he couldn't pass up on the value, which I respect. Tight end, is that a premium? If you don't get one of those guys, you're kind of at the bottom of the barrel. But I think the Jets-Lions take is kind of fading. The Lions and the Jets are both two good offenses on the upcoming.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I think the Jets had a great draft.
I'm out on the Lions. Oh, I'm out. I'm in on the Lions players. I buy in this year, wait a year. They're a QB away. That's all it takes. And they're all golden. Jameson.
You can say the same thing about the Jets, too.
Yeah, but they already got Zack Wilson. I'm not going to come off of him yet.
My thing is like with both, like the NFL changes and the regimes change very fast. Like they both have good coaching staffs, good front offices. They've A+ drafts. Like they're doing the right thing. And I mean, they're in the right direction for sure.
Did you
Spicer,
say
are
the
you-
Detroit Lions have a good front office?
I think they do, man. I think the regime change. I like Dan Campbell. I like what they're doing in Detroit.
Yeah, definitely a change is coming.
Spicer, are you here so I can start this draft?
Yeah, I'm in the draft room right now.
All right. You want to do it from your phone? No, you're streaming from your phone. Okay. Cool. Spicer will have no picture. All right. I'm gonna start this draft, boys. We're gonna get started.
All right.
And Spicer is on the clock.
I'm going to turn that sound off.
Okay.
You didn't like that background noise?
It was probably everyone's at the same time.
Mars, you want to kind of just give a quick little elaboration on those pictures you got behind you?
Yeah, I'm curious, man.
You mean the ones from today?
The ones behind you.
Oh shit! I thought you were talking about draft picks. My bad.
Oh, no.
I thought you were talking about draft picks. I was like, hold up, all right.
You're talking about the trade we made. I got you.
Nah, right here is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Right here is Damian Lillard. Right there is Magic Johnson, Shaq, and Bill Russell. Clinton
My
Porter.
man.
And then I got Cheech and Chong over there.
Okay. All autographed, right?
All autographed, yeah.
My man.
Tough collection.
Certified.
Oh, I believe it. I know you're official. You and your brother are known for going to them shows.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
sir.
man.
So who'd you have the pleasure to meet the most
When? Recently?
out of those pictures?
Which one? Oh, actually, I'm trying to think. Clinton Portis was probably the coolest.
Okay.
Clinton Portis, because I'm a Miami fan, so like, I just met Michael Irvin in April too.
Was he all strung up?
He was excited, but he was definitely awesome. But then the cool one was me and Tua. Me, Tua, and Waddle. I knew me and Waddle were boys.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's
It was a bromance at sight.
I'm
That's
sure.
awesome,
It was a
bro.
bromance at sight.
Did he do? You guys do the penguin dance together and everything?
No, I was walking from meeting Irvin, and I see like, dude, I don't know what he was just sitting minding his business, texting, and then he just looks up, and like I knew it was Waddle. And like you ever see It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Like I was like this. I was like, that's fucking Waddle. He just looks up and starts smiling, and then I was like, I was talking to him, but like it was just quick, but like that's my boy right there. Like
That's tough.
dope.
it was. I'm telling you, it was a bromance meant to be.
I love it.
I love it, bro. I love it.
All right, though. But we got 101 off the board already. I don't think anybody had any doubts, but Spice, do you want to break this pick down?
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about this one. I had to take Brees Hall. I believe he's the best player in the rookie draft anyway. And running backs are hard to come by, and especially in dynasty leagues. You got to load up on those things.
I agree. I have Brees Hall at 101 as well.
I would probably be doing the same thing in my dynasty draft with the first pick.
You're a smart man. You're
He's
smart, man.
definitely the unanimous one of one.
Yeah, he's a beast waiting to happen, man. He's my favorite in this class and one of my favorite prospects to come out in a little while. I'm riding in on the Brees Hall train. Fuck it. Let's go Jets.
I think
guys
the only
like-
way you don't take Brees Hall is if you don't have a hole at running back, and you might have a hole at quarterback, and you need Pickett. You want to take the chance on Pickett, or even one of these wide receivers. I mean, there are some people out there that are high on these wide receivers, but I think that's the only way you don't go Hall.
Steve, you just mentioned Hall being your favorite prospect in a while. Do you guys have Brees Hall over last year's class and Javonte and Travis Etienne?
I think he's head and shoulders above Etienne, based from a full game perspective, like how I'm looking at it. And also the injury status for him is actually very nil. No serious injuries on the body. Unfortunately, Etienne goes down in the preseason with one of the worst running back injuries you can have, a Liz Frank. Liz Frank hindered a lot of players, not only just running backs, but skill position guys. If you look at Sammy Watkins, and we can keep going down the list, like Le'Veon, after the second Liz Frank, never came back the same. Like I said, Watkins was supposed to be this absolute dynamo of a player. Just was never the same after that. I mean, like I said, there's so many players that are affected by this injury. I have to see Etienne come back, you know what I mean, before I buy in. Javonte's tough. I own Javonte in a couple of leagues, and I'm a big Javonte truther. They're neck and neck for me. And I mean, if you're neck and neck with Javonte Williams, I mean, you're a pretty good prospect in itself.
I like Javonte over Brees, I think. There's no way I'm going to sell Javonte for Brees Hall in any leagues.
I mean, I get it. I mean, you've seen Javonte play in the league yet, though. You haven't seen Brees play yet.
True.
But AJ, explain Kenneth Walker, man. 1-2.
Yeah, there's not many running backs in this draft. I like to get that running back in the rookie draft. I'm not sold on any of these wide receivers. I think there's going to be more busts and hits out of the first 5 or 6 wide receivers in this class. Seattle's always been known for running the ball. Chris Carson got neck surgery. I don't really count him as any type of competition anymore. Rashad Penny is probably already hurt with his injury history. Kenneth Walker was explosive at Michigan State. I think he had 16 or 18 touchdowns last year, over 1,600 total yards. They didn't utilize him in the passing game much, but I think Seattle will find a way to get him, around 30 catches a year. I just like the way Walker runs the ball. I mean, adding Charles Cross there at the 109 this year solidifies that left tackle spot for him. I like what Seattle's doing. They got to find a quarterback now. They got rid of Russ.
I agree. I think the argument for Kenneth Walker being the most touted, just pure runner in this class is definitely a thing. Toro Big Ten competition. I mean, he was the best running back in the nation last year. I guess my only concern is like, where was the disconnect at Wake Forest? That was my biggest question, like with Kenneth Walker. But
I think they're not good at
two different
really utilizing anybody. A different league.
Yeah.
I mean, the man Kenneth Walker had 5 touchdowns against my Michigan Wolverines. 5.
He did.
Yeah.
Yes,
5.
he did.
Beat us. Gave us the only L we had until we took one against Georgia.
There's just some college teams that just don't put out the same offense in different conferences. It's just two different worlds going from Wake Forest into Michigan State.
And I guess my question is like, you talk about the passing game work. Is it that, do you think he's not capable of doing so, or do you think it was just Michigan State's game plan to not really utilize that?
Well, they didn't really utilize Le'Veon Bell as a receiver there that much. I mean, I'm not comparing the two at all. I'm not saying Kenneth Walker's Le'Veon at all. Just saying the college is the same. But Le'Veon didn't get used as much as he did in Pittsburgh. It's all about scheme wherever you go. Who knows? He, for all we know, he's as good a catcher as Matt Forte. Who knows? We don't know that until we see what Pete Carroll has cooking up for him. They're not really known for throwing the ball to the running backs that much, but like I said, around 30 catches is pretty mediocre in the fantasy game. But I mean, that's solid extra points that added on top if he can find the end zone, 7-8 times a year.
Yeah, for sure. Walker kind of gives you like that Nick Chubb profile, guys that aren't like extremely used in the passing game, but dominant runners can, find holes, quick short burst areas, are very quick, very sudden. He runs hard too, man. He runs really hard. I have no problem taking him at the 102. Chuntz locked in his pick. He has Drake London at 103.
Yes, I do. I don't know. I just feel like they're rebuilding. They have literally no receiver. All they have a tight end with Pitts. I just feel like this combo of like a Mike Evans sized receiver. I mean, it's probably a rental year for Mariota. So this is like, they're trying to draw in that quarterback. You know what I mean? If it's not a draft, someone they draft next year. So I just feel like it's a good time to get London. He's only 20. So even if, what he sign, like 4 years, 5 years after
First
that,
round, yep.
he's still like perfect.
Yeah, I like Drake London. I like Drake London a lot. I mean, 7-game stretch, 7 or 8 games. I can't remember. I think it was 7. USC, that year, 1,100 yards, 8 scores. Like, he was just overly dominant. He was so dominant of a receiver. The biggest question I have, though, and me and Ryan and AJ talk about it a lot, are receivers that have trouble creating separation. How do they correlate to the NFL? Is he going to be a DeAndre Hopkins type receiver with an elite catch radius? Is he going to attack the ball at a strong point, or is he going to turn into N'Keal Harry? You know what I mean? I don't think there's really an in between.
Dorial Green Beckham.
That's another great one.
Oh my god! No, we want to go towards the Mike Evans side of things. Okay.
I hope so. Trust me. I hope it works out for the Falcons.
Yes.
I can see him. I made the comparison on one of the pods. I think his profile is more Alshon Jeffrey than anybody. Just if they really utilize him at the high point of the ball, I think London could be effective.
Mm-hmm.
But like Steven touched on again, it's the separation that scares me with London.
Would you?
And I had Drake London compared to like Vincent Jackson, like that type of bodied receiver. And we all know Vincent Jackson has been serviceable in fantasy football for a long time. But AJ pointed out about Vincent Jackson. He was a strong wide receiver too. Never one of those elite wide receiver ones. Is that in London's profile? Possibly. I think we're all hoping for the best in Mike Evans though. But not many Mike Evans come into the league. I mean, AJ, you've been a Bucs fan your whole life. You know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong with drafting a solid wide receiver too. And what people like to say a mediocre rookie class this year. I mean, if Drake London is a wide receiver 2 for you for just say 4 or 5 years, I think you could be totally happy at getting him at the 103 there.
I agree.
Would you be happy if he had a Devontae Parker floor?
See, that's a great point. I know you're hurt with the Dolphins for it, but that could easily happen because Parker was highly touted coming out of college as well.
He does really good with contested catches, like very good with that. So like even though he didn't meet his level, but as long as if he can kind of meet his goals with touchdowns, let's say he gets 500 yards a season, that's not too bad, I guess for a first rounder. That's not too great, but I'm thinking dynasty league wise, but
it's going to be interesting to see how he plays out for sure.
Yeah.
He's going to be a wait and see guy.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I just don't want to draft that N'Keal Harry type guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A highly touted receiver.
Anyone does.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think with these big body guys, there's much of an in between. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think I like the more polished route runners. But like I said, like you said, AJ said this class is weaker on the certain standpoints as compared to the 23 class. And I agree with him. So we're going to wait and see. I had London as the second receiver off the board. Delhi actually takes my wide receiver 1 off the board.
Happily. Yeah. Also my wide receiver 1. Not completely sold on London. I have nothing against him. The separation thing worries me. But Treylon Burks steps in the A.J. Brown role immediately. I mean, they traded their pick and instantly got Burks. I think he'll play in the same role. The only thing that worries me with him is if we see 1 year of Tannehill instead of 2, and then we get Malik Willis, who might not be prepared. That's the only downside of this. I kind of went strictly talent here. He's a beast when you catch the ball. With the ball in his hands, he's a monster, yak monster. Got the profile build for your average NFL receiver. So I'm excited to see what he can do out there.
I agree. Arkansas definitely got the ball in his hands early and often in any ways they could, whether it be this wide receiver screens, gadget plays, anything they wanted to do. He was a monster. Go look at the Ole Miss tape. Go look at the Alabama tape. He absolutely shreds their secondaries. It was awesome to watch. Burks is my wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
I was reading up a thing they were saying how he wasn't that fast and everything, but anytime I see him on tape, I get a lot of DK vibes, to be honest. Like, he looks like a running back when he gets the ball. Like, he's a big guy. Like, I thought he was fast on field.
Yeah, it seems like he has a second gadget, like a second gear that, he unlocks. Like, I've noticed that like game speed looks a lot better than a 40 speed. I mean, a 4.54 for a guy that's almost 230. I mean, DK ran a what? He probably ran a 4. He definitely ran a 4.4. I know DK did.
Yeah.
But and I mean, who's to say he wasn't hurt at his combine or anything like that? You know, everybody has off days, but I mean, a 4.5 for a dude that's 230 really isn't that slow.
Tennessee saw something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
And at the 105, I'm gonna lock in, to me, the wide receiver 2 of the class. I have Garrett Wilson here. I think he's the most polished route runner in this 2022 class. Granted, he got to play at Ohio State, one of the most explosive offenses in college football. The 2023 receiver, I can't pronounce his name. It's Jackson. Help me here if you can pronounce it.
Nixon, Najabo
Smith. Yeah, he's a beast.
Smith. Yeah.
But Garrett Wilson in his own, I mean, 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns last year. Like I said, the most polished route runner. I think he's the best at attacking the ball as well when it comes to, I mean, his body control and his ability to catch through contested things and play strong for how small he is really intrigues me. Only thing is, Robert Saleh, defensive-minded coach, what's their game plan? How are they going to use Breece Hall now? You already have an undersized receiver in Elijah Moore. How are you going to get these guys both involved? Some questions with Garrett Wilson. I think Burks comes into a better situation. But I think the most like polished route runner, I'm going to take Garrett Wilson.
You think he's going to get enough targets with, young Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, all these people, all these little pass catchers they've been trying out?
Breece Hall taking touches too.
Yeah,
I do think Corey Davis is eventually faded out. They do need a red zone guy, but in between the 20s, I think it's going to belong to Garrett and Elijah Moore. Like I said, I got to see the game script. I don't know what Robert Saleh wants to do. You have Breece Hall back there. It'll be interesting to see. I just think versus pure talent, I think Garrett Wilson here.
Okay.
It's going to be tough. Like I said, I don't know what the Jets scheme is going to be. That's the biggest question.
Oh, shit. I look at the Jets, look like they're like I always follow them like their backyard football team. And like it sounds bad to say it that way, but when I watch Zack Wilson play, he makes it work in a very good way. So if you give him all them weapons and organized chaos, I think it works pretty well. Like
I agree with you.
Like, I think that'll be pretty all right.
I owned Zack Wilson in the league, in that 14-team league, and everybody kind of dogged me for it. Granted, rookies come in, man, and the game speed is just insane. It's completely different. You know, I mean, he kind of looked lost in the sauce. I'm not going to lie to you, but I think year 2 is going to be a lot different for Zack Wilson. I was a big fan of his when he came out of BYU. Big arm, ability to elude and evade. He's just got to see the game for the speed it's at. College game, like I said, and plus BYU, the competition at BYU is a lot different than playing the Bills on Sunday. I think he grows in year 2.
Okay.
Hobbs back-to-back takes Jamison Williams at 106.
Have y'all not learned a thing about receivers in the draft? Have y'all not learned a thing about these Bama receivers?
Yeah, Bama's got good receivers.
Come
No,
on.
not yet.
The only bad one bets against them, or I'm talking Ridley, but the rest of them have always been consistent.
Dude,
I'll take. He had, what was it, 1,500 yards or something? 1,500 yards, and what the hell was it? It was like 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. He plays against the number 1 defense in the country, dogs them before he makes a bad cut, tears his ACL. He dogged the best defense in the country. Now, the problem was he was with Alabama for a year, and then he goes to Detroit, which I don't like Detroit. We were talking about that earlier, but I think he's the best in the draft. Alabama is a proven team. All he has to do is pretty much not be good. And but I think he's going to be great. He's what, 6'1", and he's like 6'1".
Yeah.
They got him at 180, but I think they're going to get him up to 200, get him nice and beefy.
Does he give you Jalen Waddle vibes when you watch him play?
Nah, I think he's way, way better. Like, as crazy as that is, Waddle's different. He has a lot more. He has a little bit more the it factor, honestly. Waddle, I love Waddle, but Williams, but if he didn't have that injury, I seriously think he would have went top 5.
Is it the route running for you?
Yeah, it's route run. He has speed. He got the breakaway. He's got the height. He can contend catches.
I've seen the Keenan Allen comp for him prior to his injury, as far as the route running and the explosiveness. So that's why I was thinking that you were getting there over the Jalen Waddle. Because I mean, you being a Fins fan, I thought you'd be a homer there and say Waddle.
Hey, come on now. Game knows game, and I know game when it's Jameson Williams. He's got it. Like if he didn't get that injury, I think he would have went top. He would have went around where Chase went.
Is that a little sneak peek at the 104 this Sunday? Is that a little sneak peek?
Nah, I can't give you the goodness.
Oh man,
I'll bet that's probably the pick.
Who you hitting us with the on the snake here, Marsh?
I'm gonna hit you with another one.
Oh,
because I'm doing a no RB draft.
okay.
Olave, this dude, people can get highlighted by Garrett Wilson. This dude's a whole nother level. He was a leader since his freshman year. He was Big Ten his sophomore year. He was All-American. Him and Garrett Wilson were like the second all-time getting All-American. He had dumb amounts of touchdowns. He finds a way to get open like a mother. Don't want to cuss. He finds a way to get open, and it's a whole nother level. Granted, he got 900 yards, but when it comes to his play, I think his fit in New Orleans, and if Mike Thomas can get there, it can really open up that field with Kamara and them. So I think that's a good fit. I like the upside with him. I think he's got a lot of chances there to be.
Yeah, I'm a big Olave guy too. You trust me, you don't gotta preach. I think he's the most polished. He'll be ready to go day one. I'll be interested to see how he plays with Jameis. You know how Jameis gets with the rock. He's flinging that thing. I think Olave is going to be great in the NFL. The easy comp is Terry McLaurin, but I think that is probably what you're going to get out of him.
That's a good comp. I'll take that.
I mean, 900 yards is nothing to just 900 yards is nothing to just walk by. I mean, he had other wide receiver competition there. Not to mention, Ohio State was blowing out teams by 4 or 5 touchdowns where they're not going to throw the rock like they need to. I mean, Olave, like you said, he showed his game with Garrett Wilson there. He stood out a lot.
You know what I see with him a lot comparison. It's going to be crazy. Hunter Renfrow. He's got a lot of all-time records with Ohio State, just like Hunter Renfrow did with Clemson. He goes underlooked, like by the greats. Like, what'd you have? DeAndre Hopkins. But Sammy Watkins was before him or after him?
Sammy Watkins was before Hopkins, yeah.
Not Renfrow though.
Oh yeah, before Renfrow, yeah.
Renfrow was there 4 years, and there was another one. I think Olave was he's a homer, but he was great when he's there, and if he likes New Orleans, I think he'll be great when he's there.
Renfrow had Mike Williams.
Mike Williams, yeah.
Yeah, Mike Williams.
And Deli, I'd like to give your boy credit, man. Olave is definitely NFL ready. Probably the third best wide receiver on his team. Like I said, best wide receiver on your team is sophomore. You still show out. It says a lot for Ohio State in general. Olave is day one ready. I think he lands in a great situation as well. I can't argue with anybody here. So this is where it's going to get tricky, boys. I think I'm going to take I'm gonna try and do a no running back draft as well. None of these running backs really stand out to me outside of Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker. I'm gonna draft Aaron Rodgers.
That's a wow.
I'm gonna draft Aaron Rodgers, wide receiver 1. Christian Watson offers, he wasn't graded as a first round wide receiver talent out of this draft. We all know that. You guys got all of them.
Yeah,
I'm going to take the
Raiders. Go to a good spot, man. I mean, they have nobody right now at receiver, and he's good route runner, which means Rodgers going to know where he's at on his route. So I think it's like the perfect matchup.
The thing about it is the only thing that comes with these elite QBs, your Tom Brady's, your Aaron Rodgers, guys like that. Do they trust you? If they don't trust you, you're not going to play. I think Watson. I think the speed that he offers, the the pedigree he had. Granted, we always don't look at North Dakota State, but he's a 4-time, whatever the hell division they're in, champion. He was their leading receiver all for 3 of his 4 years. Kid offers elite breakaway speed, good hands. I'm going to take it's presumably Aaron Rodgers, wide receiver 1. I don't think Sammy Watkins is even a lock to make the roster. So yeah, give me Christian Watson.
You think Rodgers, knowledge of the game will, I know they say he's raw to the game and everything, but you think Rodgers will make him be able to get him to that level?
Yeah, I've seen QBs be absolutely just game changers for wide receivers. I mean, you've seen Peyton Manning produce wide receivers that would never make it on any other roster. Tom Brady. I mean, you look at Wes Welker. Wes Welker was cut by the Dolphins. Then Wes Welker goes on to have an elite career in New England. I mean, like I said, we can go down the list. Peyton Manning made Pierre Garçon. Peyton Manning made Austin Collie. Like I said, Brady made Welker. Brady made Edelman. Rodgers has made, Rodgers,
How many high drafted, when they got that draft capital for those quarterbacks that you're naming, those first, second round wide receivers for Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, how many of those actually panned out? I mean, how many second round wide receivers for Tom Brady actually busted? Wes Welker, he had a chip on his shoulder.
He did.
He was different. Edelman, same thing. He actually transitioned positions. He was different. Watson, I don't know if he's going to pan out with Rodgers. Like Marsh brought up, is he going to be able to jump in there right away as a rookie and just learn the playbook with Rodgers? Rodgers has never been one to lean on a young guy. He's kind of one that likes his friendships, if that's something that he's been offended when they got rid of people. He actually told him to go get Randall Cobb last year.
Yeah.
Out of all people, rather than taking a chance with a young Amari Rodgers, who was a good collegiate player.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm on the fence with Christian Watson. I'd rather let somebody else take him though, but that's just my input.
And I agree with you. The thing is when you lose Devontae Adams, you lose Marcus Valdez-Scantling, Robert Tonyan's coming back from an ACL tear. Who's there realistically? I mean, like I said, do you trust Lazard? Do you trust these guys that are on this roster to carry a 17-game workload and carry elite production?
You trust a second-year wide receiver too, or second round rookie? Excuse me.
I'm gonna take the upside on this one. I think all the wide receiver 1s have just been drafted. I mean, at this point, between him and Skye Moore, like I say, you could toss it up how you want it. I think the Chiefs are deeper when it comes to their skill position players than the Packers. So I'm gonna chase the upside with Christian Watson.
That's fair.
Yeah, you mentioned Skye Moore. I'll let somebody else take on him. I'm not really sold on him. I'm going George Pickens. Tax the ball at the high point. The Steelers seem to have a niche with wide receivers. They know how to find them. They've proven this year in, year out.
Yes, sir.
They just got their franchise quarterback in Kenny Pickett. Not Juju left. He's out the door. So there's targets available. I think he's a great red zone target, and he's going to win most 50-50 balls. I mean, he's huge. Not the highest on him, but at this point in the draft, I think we're past all of the elite receivers. Now we're kind of just chasing upside, and touchdowns are money in most leagues. Give me the upside for touchdowns for George Pickens.
I think guy's a stud. He cracked me up when his draft picture when he was sitting in front of us.
Bobby Schmurder.
He had me dying, man. I think he's gonna be a stud after that. I think Claypool lost his job after that. Honestly,
he's like a dog.
I think he is. I think Pickens is gonna be it, man.
I mean, he was a 5-star recruit out of high school. He was the number 1 wide receiver recruit. He was a beast until that injury, the ACL injury. I mean, he was good for Georgia when he was there. Nobody's debating that. I mean, he went to arguably the best team at developing wide receivers year in and year out. They develop wide receivers, and Deontay Johnson's on his last year. He could be on the way out. Claypool hasn't really taken that step that Pittsburgh was hoping. You could be looking at Pittsburgh's wide receiver 1 next year.
You could.
Very
I agree with
likely.
that.
Especially with a new quarterback.
Over the last 20 years, the only wide receiver we've ever paid elite money to is AB.
That went great.
It did for the first 2 years. It did for the first 2 years, yeah. Well, like we didn't pay Hines Ward elite wide receiver 1 money. We let Plexico walk, we let Mike Wallace walk, we let Emmanuel Sanders walk. I mean,
Mike Wallace.
we do not have a history of signing wide receivers to elite wide receiver 1 money. Although I do think Deontay Johnson is worth it. You are right. I could see Pickens being wide receiver 1 2023 going into 2024.
All right. Well, I got the next pick and 10 picks into a dynasty rookie round, and he's still here, so I might as well take him. I feel like this is a steal at this pick. He's a Pittsburgh guy staying home. That's less stress on him getting into the game.
Go ahead, Chuntz. You talk up the Steelers, buddy. Go ahead.
I'm going to absolutely love seeing him get destroyed in the Ravens-Steelers matchups, but if I have him in fantasy, I'll definitely cheer for him.
You'll sit him that game, though, right?
What's that?
You'll sit him that game against Baltimore, though, right?
Probably. Most likely, yeah. Most likely. I don't think there's a reason to start him because he's not going to do much, But I just feel like it's just the perfect spot for him. Like if Malik Willis would have won here, I probably wouldn't have liked him as much. But I don't know. I like his arm. I like I don't know. I just like his ability.
So the small hands and the wearing 2 gloves doesn't worry you?
You don't need big hands to throw a football.
Yeah, tell him. Joe Burrow's got small hands too. Joe Burrow's doing just fine.
Does Joe Burrow wear 2 gloves?
No comment.
Well, that was just a college.
We got
thing.
Kenny 2 gloves now.
Yes, sir.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it.
Hey, but for real, I do kind of like Pickett a little bit. Not gonna lie, I'm just messing with you.
At a 110, it's good. That's good value.
That's first quarterback off the board, like you said. I mean, all right.
I think Pickett was destiny for Pitt. As crazy as I don't like talking up Pitt like that, but I will talk up my man Dan Marino a little bit. But Pickett had a great season that outbeat Marino, I believe, like within their seasons. Pitt ain't gonna, and they let Marino go when he was in the draft. They're not gonna let that happen again. Your hometown boy, Heinz Field playing. I don't think you let that pass up.
Right, he's comfortable there.
And he fell to him. They didn't have to give anything up for him. I think that's a hell of it's just a match made in heaven, really, for him.
And then went out and potentially got his wide receiver 1 in George Pickens.
Exactly.
Yeah, very
Trust me,
true.
I'm hoping, guys. Last QB we took in round 1 was Big Ben. Trust me,
that worked out okay for you.
Yeah, I'm not expecting.
Let me tell you something. We took Eli Manning the same draft, and we got our quarterback, Daniel Jones. Didn't quite work out. So,
Ooh.
Okay, fair enough.
Love it. Love the shots fired.
Fair enough.
I'm going to take my next guy. Not many people are expecting big things from this guy, but I kind of like him. That's James Cook. I like him in that offense, I think. Running backs were shallow, so I'm kind of reaching a little bit with this one. You never know, though. Some running backs come out of the second round in some rookie drafts that you don't think is going to be that good. I mean, his specialty is receiving. Josh Allen hasn't been known for dumping it off to running backs, but he really hasn't had a running back that's good at catching the ball. Hopefully, James Cook can open up a whole nother level to Josh Allen. I mean, they are still looking to get to that big game. James Cook utilized in the receiving game could be that piece that they're missing. So I think it's worth a flyer here. This late in the draft, there's not really much on the board that I thought was a for sure lock over James Cook here. So, yeah.
I mean, I like James Cook pick here, especially remember if you go back, Buffalo tried to get J.D. McKissick from the Redskins before he signed back. So they're obviously looking for that role. I think Cooks plugs that in, and we'll see how he does.
I think Cook's really good. I think the big thing is AJ, would you be worried about Buffalo's history in drafting bad running backs like Zach Moss? He was supposed to be a stud.
Yeah, there are two different type of running backs. I'm actually snake bit from Buffalo. My boy CJ Spiller let me down big time. I had him his rookie year. He went bananas for me. My first ever dynasty league that I ever did was the following year. The startup draft with your brother Garrett in it. I had the 104, took CJ Spiller, and the rest is history with CJ Spiller. Although the other two guys that I was deciding between didn't work out well, which was Doug Martin and Colin Kaepernick. So just shows you how fast dynasties turn around.
All right.
Johann Dotson. We are Penn State.
Yes, Johann Dotson.
Crickets.
I'm not sold on Johann Dotson, but I don't like any of these other receivers better than I like him. And I believe he's got definitely the chance right away to maybe produce in Washington's offense, the second receiver next to McLaurin. He is a bit undersized at 5'11", but he's got enough speed to separate from the corners. So I believe he'll have some production in Washington, at least once we get into the middle of the season. He may not produce early on, but I believe he'll do something.
I'll say about Johann Dotson, he plays a lot bigger than 5'11". Very strong hands as well. 82% catch percentage at Penn State. Blazing speed as well. I think he's a dynamic piece.
He caught 25 touchdowns there too. So
yeah, I think he's a dynamic piece. I think he's gonna come in as a slot guy. He's very good at beating zone coverage as well. I think it's a great pick at the 2-6. I think it's a very sneaky pick.
When I look at Johann Dotson, I look at Jeremy Macklin, honestly. Like I see Jeremy Macklin, like a good Jeremy Macklin. Like what was the last season he had 12 touchdowns? Because I watched Penn State a lot. 12 touchdowns. The guy was deep threat all the way, and I think he's going to help Terry. And that field's going to be scary, especially when you got Curtis Samuel over there too. I think Dotson's going to be right where he needs to be, as long as Wentz does what he's supposed to do.
That's all I was going to say. No worry with Wentz at quarterback. I'm a Wentz hater though, so I'll let you guys debate on that one.
I don't hate Wentz. You know that.
Do you think he can support two receivers is what I'm asking? Like Terry's the one, obviously. You think Dotson can carve out a big enough role to make an impact?
It depends on Rivera's scheme. You got to remember, he played for a predominantly run-heavy Indianapolis team. His last stint in Philly, it was one of the worst rosters you've seen put together for skill position guys. But you go back to 2017 MVP Wentz. I don't think you'll ever get that again, but I think you can get a serviceable QB, 4,000 yards, 27 touchdown passes year in, year out. I think Wentz is a serviceable guy that many people hate on just due to the injury history and missing big games. But I like Wentz. I always have. You know that.
Yeah.
Wentz did good in the regular season. It was just them last few. He just really he wet the bed pretty bad.
Yeah,
the Colts can pretty much get.
The Jags game is unexcusable. I will say that. That game was unexcusable.
I love that they start against the Jags. Don't they start against the Jags this year?
Who, the Skins or the football
Commanders?
team?
Can someone mute their phone, whatever that is?
I do not know. I have not pulled up their roster or their schedule yet.
It's a group chat that just doesn't end. I got it muted on my phone, but I'm hardly on my laptop. And this one is nonstop.
Just rolling. Group chats are a pain.
It's ridiculous. It will go on for it'll be 3 a.m. Someone's talking about John Mayer doing a concert.
What a shame.
Probably Joey.
And I had not a clue how to mute this thing.
You're good. Hey, here goes. I was about to say next pick.
There he is, T.
Right there, I take Trey McBride. He's the top tight end on the board. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's consensus with everybody. He's definitely the best one. And although he is behind Ertz, they will probably run 2 tight end sets in Arizona, and I don't think he'll be behind Ertz for long. Ertz is just declining in his production as he gets older. I believe McBride's going to end up taking over sooner rather than later, probably next season.
I like the McBride pick.
Like him a lot.
Here, for sure.
Oh,
There he goes.
Oh, McBride, that is a good pick.
I don't want to move on from McBride yet. I mean, he's 100% right. He could be tight end 1 for the Cardinals next year. I mean, Ertz is basically in their retirement home, given he just got a 3-year contract. But McBride says he's models his games after Kittle. I'm sure he'll be in tight end U to grind out and get better. I like Trey McBride at 3-1 here. Well, I guess in the regular league it would be like what? Math 2-6?
201. 201.
Oh, and a 12. Yeah.
At 12, yeah, it'd be 201.
God damn, 201. Okay.
It's not bad though. Like he made some good points. He's gonna overtake Ertz not before long. Like I said, they do like to run the 2 tight end sets. Usually that second tight end's there for blocking. But I like McBride. I mean, he showed some good stuff there in college. I mean, Kyler Murray is a good quarterback to start your career with, though. I like what they got going on there.
The only thing is, Ryan, we did say this on the podcast. Me and AJ talked about this. I mean, you were there too. You didn't believe in what we said, but Kittle for his fantasy game at some point is over. Kittle is some way overrated because he's so good at football and every aspect of the game. It takes away from his fantasy games at points.
Absolutely. You're right.
So if you're getting the Kittle comparison, granted, I mean, obviously not many people are going to become George Kittle. But, like, do you think at some point, like you said, Kittle can be overrated at times. Do you think, like, that could be McBride because you're giving the Kittle comparison?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said before, I hate comparisons. Not all of them are dead on. I don't even think I compared. I just said that he models his game after Kittle. That's his idol in football. So I think he's going to strive out. I think you're right. It does take away, but if you're playing both sets, you're blocking and receiving, that means you're going to be on the field at all times, which I think is only a good thing, right?
It is, but what about, like, if you are strictly blocking, like, for certain sets that Kittle does, what about the routes ran compared to the routes ran by receiving tight ends? You know what I mean?
So as far as, like, your Pitts and your Kelseys?
Yeah.
Wallers. Tight ends are a weird position. You're right. I've kind of faded Kittle a little bit here. As time goes on, you're right. Injuries are lingering as well with Kittle. But yeah, no, you're 100% right. I mean, I would love to have Kittle run nothing but routes as a tight end, but that's just not the scheme he plays in. I think if given the chance he didn't block, he would be just as good as Kelsey and them. But no, it definitely takes away. That's a solid point.
Y'all have any like luck with drafting tight ends? Me personally, I can't draft them to save my life.
Yeah, I got Kyle.
I'm in the waiver, and I happen to get one that's good. I can't draft one to save my life.
Just trade for the best.
Top 3, man. If you don't get one of the top 3, you might as well just try and close your eyes and pick the right one.
Ride with Dallas Goedert, baby.
I just traded for the best one.
Jump on the
established tight ends.
Goddard to the moon, baby. In Dallas, we trust.
So,
I drafted Freiermuth last year in our dynasty league, and I really like him.
That's a hell of a pick, though. Like that's a good tight end to draft. I would be the one to draft Ebron with the Lions and get dogged. Like
even Noah Fant.
Yeah, like that's. Hey, now I forgot I had him.
No, you traded me for Noah Fant last year.
Yeah, shit. Hey, he's still in my starting lineup. He's still there. I'm giving him faith. Seahawks will change him around.
Yeah.
No, I think that Schultz is your value tight end this year. Get him while you can before he goes up.
Like I told you guys, I mean, you were in the draft. I did something I'd never do. I traded for Kyle Pitts. I traded up to get Kyle Pitts. It's something I never, ever do. But during the tight end podcast, AJ really convinced me. I mean, he's won a couple fantasy championships from the time we've played. And who is a staple been? Travis fucking Kelce.
I have him in every league that I'm in, except for the startup that we just started a couple nights ago. But you give it a couple of weeks, he'll be on my team. If that guy's watching, just let him know that I'll be coming for him.
Alan, just
He's
let
the
you know.
godfather of fantasy trades. He'll give you an offer you just can't refuse. Like you're like,
We got one done today.
I'm telling you, he'll offer one you can't refuse.
Oh man, AJ, you take Skye Moore at 3-2. Thoughts behind Skye Moore?
Honestly, I'm not even that high on Skye Moore. I thought he was the best available on the board here. That's the reason behind the pick. A lot of people seem to be on him. I don't like that landing spot as much as others. I think it's very cluttered there in Kansas City with Juju, Hardman, Kelsey. Where does Skye Moore really fit? Maybe he does carve out a role that I'm just not seeing. I mean, he's got Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's always good to lean on. Yeah. But we've seen them try to draft that second receiver behind Tyreek, and it hasn't really worked out. Yeah, now Tyreek's out of here. They got Juju to be the wide receiver one, quote. Is Skye Moore going to be the wide receiver that finally hits for them in the draft since the Tyreek Hill? I don't know, but I think right here he's best available on the board, and this deep into the draft, that's what you're looking to do is take best available on the board rather than fill position need.
You think he'll take over Vantley Scantling? Do you think he'll step over him by a chance? I know he's on that 3 line with him. He'll be
I honestly forgot. I overlooked him when I was naming the wide receivers there. That's another person there.
Yeah. They're stacked.
I mean, he went from Aaron Rodgers to Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that guy's living great.
What a great life for
Not everybody can say that. They can also have the Allen Robinson life. When it went from Blake Bortles to Trubisky to Justin Fields. But this guy, I mean, he's making out like a bandit. I don't know what he's going to do. Honestly, I feel like he was never heavily utilized in Green Bay. So I don't know if Skye Moore is going to be able to overtake him or not. I mean, he might just automatically start above him because of the draft capital. Who knows? I'm willing to take the risk on it, like I said, this late in the draft.
My question to you is, AJ, with Skye Moore, Tyreek Hill comes into the game and absolutely changes the game. It seems like every receiver from that point on, everybody's trying to find that speed guy with the elite, trying to, possess the elite route running and turn into Tyreek Hill. Mecole Hardman was that guy out of Georgia, never really panned out to be that guy. Why is it that you think why is it that you think the game is trying to replicate Tyreek Hill? I mean, there's only so many Tyreek Hills, right?
I don't think they're trying to replicate him. If that's the impression I gave off, that's my.
No, I'm saying in general because that's my impression.
Oh, the game itself, like the Chris Olaves and the Henry Ruggs-esque type of players.
Yeah,
I got you. I mean, it takes the top off of defenses. I mean, it automatically takes that safety out of the box. If you got somebody that's taking you deep, granted, I mean, you got to be able to get open. Henry Ruggs could not get open running a 4.2. Or whatever he ran, 4.29, whatever, 4.3. I mean, there is more than just being fast. We've seen that with some of these receivers. Tyreek Hill is different. He knows how to get open. He's strong at the point of attack of the ball. You're not, like you said, you're not going to find Tyreek Hill is just lollygagging in the draft in the 3rd round. Here's a real fast guy. Like the Patriots took that fast guy out of Baylor. Are they hoping that's Tyreek Hill? I sure hope not.
Maybe Tyreek Hill, or is it going to be what's his name from fucking Cincinnati? John Ross.
John Ross. Yeah, I forgot about him. It took him 9th in the draft.
Yeah, he's another one at Kansas City.
He went to Kansas City?
No, Justin.
Oh, Justine Ross.
Okay. Kansas City.
Yeah, he fell because of injuries.
Yeah.
But I don't like you said, there's no replicating Tyreek Hill. He's different. I mean, these are one of the main reasons they won a Super Bowl and went to another Super Bowl and then went to the AFC Championship. He's been Patrick Mahomes' guy, him and Travis Kelsey. That trio, now they're missing a piece.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to go after wide receiver in the draft. They're like, we got to do something. Let's take a chance. And Maybe Skye Moore hits, maybe he doesn't.
I agree with you. Dameon Pierce at 3-3. Chuntz.
Love it,
let's talk about
Chuntz. Love it. That's
So
a good pick.
I mean, he's a hard-nosed runner. He's on a team that has really no clear starter. I don't know if you can see they're rebuilding, but I mean, they're trying, I guess. But out of all the other running backs here that I don't know, they're all slotting in backups on some solid starters, and this guy just has a clear path, in my opinion. So I'm just gonna, he's someone I'm hoping, other dynasties aren't looking at, so I can get him late, maybe second round of dynasty leagues. But
I think right now is about where he's gonna go.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I don't think
that's
I'll
a good-
catch him
that's a
in
good
my
pick.
draft. But
Does the
I hope-
4.5, what do you run? 4.58, 4.59? Does that speed scare you?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. He's just gonna be a bowling ball, With I can't remember some of the bigger dudes' names that once their feet start moving, like if you don't stop them, they're just gonna keep going. It doesn't matter what speed they're going at.
So do you have him as like a Michael Turner type running back?
That's a name I haven't heard.
Michael Turner, yeah,
Michael
just
Turner,
big
wow.
body doesn't have to be fast, and he gets through the line. That's what matters.
The burner.
Yeah, if
burner,
anything,
baby.
if anything, that you has that goal line back, and you just reap the James Conner touchdown stuff you got there.
But now you're absolutely right, though. I mean, Houston's backfield, David Johnson, unrestricted free agent, he's not coming back.
Yeah, Rex Burkhead, is he still there?
Rex
Yeah,
Burkhead,
Marlon Mack, they signed.
Marlon Mack, the
Marlon
Achilles
Mack.
tear, Marlon Mack
Yeah.
himself.
So I just feel like it's the most solid choice at running back at this point, and all the receivers are gone. So
I agree with you. I think out of any running back left on the board, he's a clear path to at least some touches.
I think
If you get the carries, that's what matters.
true.
I think with Pierce, if anything, with Davis Mills throwing the ball down the field. Look, I see a lot of LeGarrette Blount out of it. He might get 30 yards in a game, but damn if he won't get a touchdown.
Right.
Like I see goal line, and I think he's the guy. Like, yeah, I think he's gonna be really good for him.
25 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns.
Hey, that's a league winning week, bud. 4 touchdowns. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
He'll be one of them ones. Like, that's all it takes. You might not see him do much in a game, but damn it, if you get him in the end zone, he'll get there.
Deli, you are on
All
the
right.
board.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll out on this one. I'm going Desmond Ridder here all day. Especially with the guys that are left. Definitely has the highest upside out of all of them. He's gonna sit for a year probably, or at least half a season behind Mariota, but I think he needs it. Mariota is definitely a stopgap for Ridder. They already have Pitts, and they just drafted London in place. I think he comes in a pretty good situation in the league. And one thing I've learned, especially if you run super flex, is you can never have enough quarterbacks. You don't want to miss out. Actually, last year I traded 2-4, and in exchange the guy drafted Mac Jones, and I still regret trading that pick to this day. Take your quarterbacks late rounds, take the risk. Especially Ridder, he has the ability to climb the pocket, which is rare coming into the league. The only thing that worries me is he's sneaky fast, right? He's got the speed, but he doesn't scramble much. He's in the pocket. If he decides he's going to run, he runs out of the pocket, which is going to have to be worked on, I think, if he's going to want to run in the NFL, because NFL team is going to snuff that out real quick.
I like the Ridder pick.
Yeah,
I think he walks into at least 2 viable weapons as well, Pitts and Drake London. That's a solid start. The thing about these late round QBs, are they, the project type guys? You never know if they're going to bring in that QB. I mean, like, you could be that team that gets Russ. I mean, I didn't think Denver was going to bring him in, but they did. They paid the premium for him. But you know what? I'm going to do the same, Deli. I'm going to take the project QB. I'm going to take a project. The league today is transitioning to more mobile-based QBs. You see that you don't see the traditional pocket passers anymore. The only thing about Mariota, his contract is very team-friendly. Tannehill's is not. So are you going to have to ride out a 2-year bench spot from Malik Willis? It is possible. I don't see you cutting Tannehill at $20 million cap casualty. but I think with the elite speed he offers and the ability to run, if you get a glorified Jalen Hurts did just have a top 10 fantasy season. He was awful passing the ball. So I'm gonna take the risk here, and I'm gonna, like you said, you can never have enough QBs in the super flexes that we play. So I'm gonna take Malik Willis.
Yep.
Solid.
My thing with, not knocking the Ritter pick. I think Ritter has a better chance at starting this year, just because when I saw Mariota pull his hamstring on a QB, what was it? It was just an option play. When he pulled his hamstring, that just tells me that Atlanta was at least looking for somebody who can get into the game if need be. And Ritter, I ain't gonna say his name yet because he might be on the board. When he had the connection with him, it was a whole nother level. I saw him tear up Notre Dame like beyond belief. And I think Ritter has a lot of talent on him. So does Malik Willis. But when I think Ritter has a lot of play in him. And I think there's a lot for him.
I think the whole Ritter versus Willis thing is so weird. It's like NFL teams know so much more than us dynasty people do. We're sitting here waiting pick after pick after pick for Malik Willis to go. We're surprised when Kenny Pickett went first, and then the fall started. NFL teams know a lot more than we do. I think Willis falling that far says a lot. I don't hate the pick. I still like his talent and his upside. We'll see what happens with him.
Isaiah Spiller goes at 3.6. Complimentary running back to Austin Eckler. They cannot find a running back to Larry Roundtree, Justin Jackson. All these guys have been awful. Like AJ said, he's been fucked over by a Spiller before. Is it worth taking the risk? I had Isaiah Spiller as my running back too, going into early season. Obviously taken over by Kenneth Walker. But I actually like Spiller's landing spot. I really do. I think that's a good complimentary place to land.
What was Eckler's injury 2 years ago? It was like a hamstring or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's to say, like, knock on wood, because I'll never wish that on somebody, but next man up has to be there. And from what Chargers have been showing, he's got to be the next man, him or Josh Kelly. And I mean, Josh Kelly was a stud, but granted, I don't know. I took best man available. Spiller's got some good ability. Like from what I saw, he stands up a little bit in the he stands up when he runs the ball, but it gets a little sketchy. But I don't know. I think he's all right. I don't think it'll be too bad.
Like you said, next man up. I mean, they continue to build the offensive line. If something were to happen to Eckler, I mean, he's got to step in there. He's got a good offense there. The scoring opportunities should be there. I mean, Justin Jackson, he had a couple big games down the stretch there, week 13, week 14 in the fantasy world last year. He stepped up big. Who's to say Isaiah Spiller can't do the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Chargers, or any piece of the Chargers you can buy in on, maybe try to avoid the tight ends, obviously, like Gerald, Gerald Everett and all those guys. Like I said,
Donald Parham.
Donald Parham.
Mm-hmm.
But
Parham.
I do love everything about the Chargers, man. They offer elite upside in any way possible. So that's a good pick. And he goes with another Bama wide receiver in John Mechie.
Didn't you guys learn?
Didn't you learn?
You ain't learned nothing. I'm telling you right now, this dude would have been a first-round receiver, hands down. He had the injury, which, I mean, hey, so be it. But I think these Bama receivers have shown they're resilient. They'll come back. They're right. They'll be ready to ball. Like they're Alabama. You go to Alabama for one reason, and that's the ball.
He's playing with the Don.
And exactly that was my next segue here. Whenever you go and you get Brandon Cooks, underrated receiver, probably one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL.
Agreed.
You get him with a deep threat, and then you got Mechie over here. and Nico Collins. All right, you get that. I'm telling you, it's like a viper waiting to happen. Just wait for Davis Mills and Mechie. Wait for it. Brandon Cooks is going to go off, but wait for Mechie to come out. It's going to be, you just got a Ferrari just sitting back there, just waiting to unleash.
Damn.
Wait for it.
You got the Ferrari.
He's a Ferrari waiting to be unleashed.
All right, Rick Ross.
Oh,
Oh,
I will say a little fun thing about Mechie. I'm not sure if Waddle spent time injured, but the year Waddle came out, Mechie actually had more yards that season.
Nice little fact there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what does that say? I mean, you never know. We could be still looking at a Chris Olave situation where like they just kind of get overshadowed by the guys, but same time, says something, right? Alabama saw something in him.
yeah, for sure. I like John Mechie. I think it's a great pick by Marshall, to be honest with you.
interruption. Miami just beat Sixers 99-90.
Jimmy Butler, 32 points.
Mm.
James Harden, 9 shots.
Well, there goes my Philly out of the East pick.
I need Dallas to win tonight.
Yeah, I had him out of the East. Man, this board is a little difficult. I don't think there's a clear wide receiver 2 on this roster. People will say, Njoku with a possible breakout or Donovan Peoples-Jones. I'm gonna go David Bell. Wow. At this point for me, it was between him or Alec Pierce. I'm gonna stand out at the college production. David Bell, multiple 1,000-yard receiving seasons at Purdue. His 4.6 40 time really, shied away the scouts and things like that. At this point, he was regarded as a first, second round wide receiver. With Bell, could he be a Jarvis Landry type guy? He's very good in zone coverage. He's very good at finding open holes in the defense. I'm going to take him here just because I like him paired with Deshaun Watson as a wide receiver too, with Amari Cooper. Granted, heavy run scheme, but like I said, I don't think they have a clear-cut number 2 option in Cleveland, and I'll jump on that train. I'll take David Bell.
I was about to. I wanted to get schooled by somebody who drafted him because I had not too much I had not much knowledge of him. Like when I look at Cleveland's wide receiver room, see Donovan Peoples-Jones, Amari Cooper, Andrew Schwartz, Bell. Like there was a lot of people in that room, and David Njoku, Hooper, and let alone Chubb and Hunt got to get their runs. I wanted someone to sell me on it because I wasn't too sure on him. I didn't know who he was as much. I needed to know a little bit about him because I thought that room was a little crowded a little bit.
Yeah, if you went back into last year, David Bell was regarded as a top 5 wide receiver in this class. Like I said, his combine workout really shied away the scouts, but so did Jarvis Landry's. Jarvis Landry fell in drafts just because of his poor combine performance. And Jarvis Landry has been very serviceable in the NFL. Actually leads his class in receptions and catch percentage and things like that matter, especially in PPR. I think Bell could – I'm not saying he's going to be Jarvis Landry, but I think he could turn into that type of receiver. Just very viable, safe. And in the 4th round, I'll take safe.
So would you take Bell over Kadarius Toney? Because I think that was about 5 at that time. Even if you knew then what you know now.
I don't know, man. I like Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney to me reminds me of like a Percy Harvin type wide receiver. That guy that's good in all assets, can get the ball in his hands and just be a monster after the catch. Will Kadarius Toney be that? I don't know. There's a reason the Giants took him at 20. And I think with this new regime in New York, I hope they find a way to get the ball in his hands because I think he has special after the catch ability.
Is what Kadarius Toney? He was like the number 5, right? Last year, he's about the number 5-ish.
Yeah. But I think Kadarius Toney right now, their wide receiver room is very, very shallow. I'm not a fan of Sterling Shepard. Darius Slayton's fallen off the face of the earth. Ingram's gone. Kenny G, you sign him. Is he worth $72 million? Probably not. We'll all agree that he's probably not. I think Kadarius Toney is the best wide receiver in New York. He just hasn't. He wasn't on the field last year. He missed what, Delly? Probably 6 games.
Yeah, he only played 6 games.
Only played 6 games. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But those 6 games, he went off on a few of them.
Yeah, he had a game, 11 catches for like 138, I want to say. That was a great game by him.
Yeah. I'll take Kadarius
He's
Toney.
the ball in his hand. He really is.
So, Ryan, you take Alec Pierce, the big body out of Cincy.
Yeah, listen, like you said before, David Bell, that Cleveland doesn't really have a real wide receiver too. Same reason here. We got Matt Ryan, who we know loves throwing the ball, given they do have Jonathan Taylor. But we also saw Matt Ryan and Todd Gurley coincide pretty well when Todd Gurley was doing his thing. So I think he'll probably play the 2 role. I literally cannot name another Colts receiver off the top of my head right now. So you give me Alec Pierce. He played pretty well with Ritter, and pair him up back-to-back rounds.
I like it. Do you think he pushes for a wide receiver 2 job early? Like you said, I don't even know who the wide receiver 2 on the Colts is.
I don't know. I don't see how he doesn't have a clear path as long as he doesn't completely bust out in training camp. I mean, he has a good training camp. I think you see him as wide receiver 2.
It's just Paris Campbell.
Yeah, Pittman and Campbell are the only 2 there.
There you go. The Ohio State injury. God,
So after that, it'd be Pascal.
No, Pascal got signed
he's
with the
gone.
Eagles.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they don't really have anybody there.
I like Pierce. I think he's gonna be a stud, honestly.
Oh yeah, big body. I mean, they just got to get Matt Ryan just got done playing with Kyle Pitts, so let's give him another big target to throw to.
Or maybe Julio.
Ritter,
that
him
he
and
played
Ritter,
with.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, don't forget about Julio, I guess.
I guess.
Julio
Frank's disrespected. Oh, you sniped me.
Yep.
The Tampa Bay boy.
I don't know. I think he's going to be immediately the backup running back. Rashad White. Tom Brady loves his receiving backs. I know Fournette can catch a pass, but I don't see too many yards on his catches. I know they're changing to a more run first, but I mean, you got to protect Fournette, so he's going to come out on drives, and I just think get that little dump off that screen, and this dude's got the acceleration just to take it all the way.
Yeah, I like what he can bring to the table for us. He's actually bigger than a lot of people think. I don't remember exactly what he came in at, somewhere between 210 and 220. He was kind of a bulldozer as a receiving back. I mean, that's kind of a scary combination. I mean, catch the ball and you can also get trucked. I mean, nobody really wants to get in front of that. I mean, if he can get mismatches there coming out of the backfield, I mean, Tom Brady's going to eat that up all day.
Easily. And then if Brady retires right again, then and he solidified himself, there you go. There's your 1-2 punch there in Tampa Bay that anyone would love to play with.
AJ, off the top of your head is Fournette. Fournette was a 1-year deal this year, correct?
3-year, $21 million.
It was 2 years.
We locked him up. He's going to retire $1. He'll be 30 at the end of his deal.
Yeah,
he go on at 30.
Steve, look like the Wizard of Oz right now, bro. It's killing me.
My fault, man.
I've
blurred my thing, and it's just like I got the floating head.
I'll
tell you what, I like this pick. I like this pick a lot, actually. I can't.
Yeah, I like Zamir White. I mean, he was splitting it. I doubled up on the Georgia running back. He wasn't the receiving back as Cook was, but the only thing that scares me, I mean, he's got 2 ACL injuries. But one thing I do like in his favor is Josh. Yeah, Josh Jacobs. They declined his 5th-year option, so this is his last year. That opens up that hole there for Zamir White. Obviously, you got to stay on the field. The best ability is availability. If you're not on the field, you're literally useless in fantasy. So I think there's opportunity there. He's definitely not going to be the pass catcher. So he's got to hope for an injury behind Josh Jacobs. because Jacobs is not a pass catcher as well. That's the only thing that's going to stand in between him and playing time is Josh Jacobs being on the field.
The pass catching role or the third down role, you think he can beat out Kenyon Drake?
Yeah.
It seemed like Oakland, granted, it was the old regime, but they seemed to like Kenyon Drake. I noticed he was faded in the second half after the John Gruden email, but
I think they tried to feed him the ball because of the money they gave him. When you give somebody money, you have to give them. You got to try it. You can't just pay somebody and not try to give them the ball.
yeah, I agree with you.
And once they saw it wasn't working, nope.
Did you notice once Gruden left, Jacobs ended up catching a lot more balls though?
I did not
I was
notice
gonna
that.
say.
Once Gruden left, they were giving Josh Jacobs a lot more catches.
Gruden is old school. Running backs don't catch the ball in his eyes.
Yeah, AJ, how many catches do you think Jacobs ended with? Because I bet you it's a lot lower than what it was.
I mean, I would say it was kind of like my Kenneth Walker type, like 30.
He actually ended with 54.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just
Marshall-
acquired him today from Marshall.
I know that's what hurt. That's why I was valuing him pretty dang high.
Yeah, Marshall
I've
was
never
great.
been a big Jacobs guy. I just wanted to get the deal done with you.
He gets no love, but he actually is a stud.
He doesn't
Yeah,
get love
time
from
out
me.
here. I think
He's a James Robinson type.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think with the arrival of Devontae Adams, it takes a little bit away from Josh Jacobs too. It might open up a little bit something for him. You never know.
It has to, right?
You would think. I mean,
Adams, Renfro, Waller, potentially Brian Edwards. That's got you can't stack the box there at all.
yeah.
No,
But Derek Carr is no slouch back there. He don't get love either.
That is true. Derek Carr is definitely undervalued. I agree with that. But
Who's
yeah,
Mr. Irrelevant here, Spice?
Mr. Relevant.
Okay, Mr. Irrelevant. It's probably going to be a surprise to most of you.
Ooh.
Oh, dude! Oh,
I like
My
it.
Mr. Irrelevant is Jalen Tober.
I
The
like
reason
it.
I'm taking him here is because I believe there's not a whole lot left on the board anyway. He was highly productive in college this last season. He had almost 1,500 yards receiving in his senior season. He goes to the Cowboys, who you don't necessarily see an immediate role for him right away, but I believe that he could carve out at least the third overall role. They do have Washington in there right now, but Washington stays injured, and he hasn't really been productive. And also with Michael Gallup's injury history, who knows how long he'll be on the field. He might end up being the number 2 not that far into the season before it's all said and done.
Yeah, very true. I mean, you saw what Wilson was doing just as like the fourth receiver there. So it's not like they don't feed their receivers if they're good.
I agree with you.
I like that pick a lot.
I do too.
Yeah, Tolbert, especially. Well, this is the end of the second round. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
this would be
He's got a
2-12.
chance to carve out. He's got. There's a lot of targets available. Cedric Wilson's gone. Amari Cooper gone. Targets are opening up everywhere. Cowboys were the number 1 offense last year. So any piece of that, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with it. I don't think there's a clear wide receiver 2. Gallup ACL tear. I think it's up for grabs. I think he'll be the wide receiver 2 when he comes back. But who knows? I don't like. He said, "I'm a Steelers guy. I don't like James Washington. I don't like Noah Brown." We're gonna see how it pans out. I think that's a great pick.
I think Cowboys have a history of being able to spread that ball around. Cedric Wilson pretty much proves it.
Yeah,
He could literally just fill that spot and be right in there and be as productive as him. Like next man up for the Cowboys. I think that's a hell of a pick. I think
AJ did just acquire CD Lamb today. It is CD season. I'm glad you're buying it. Baby.
season.
It is CD season.
Oh, hold up. Didn't on a few episodes back, wasn't AJ knocking on CD?
Knocking heavy.
No, I was.
On CD, yeah.
No, I was. So
Yeah.
I'll elaborate for everybody the trade. The reason I did the trade, so I gave up
It was a
Brady
good trade.
and Stephon Diggs for CeeDee Lamb, Jameis Winston, and a 2023 first. So the way I looked at it was Lamb and Diggs. Lamb has more value in Dynasty, whether I like Diggs or Lamb more. He has more value at 5 years younger. And then I'm getting a 2023 first and Jameis for a 1-year rental and Tom Brady in a startup draft. That's kind of how I looked at it. I was like, I didn't want to do it. Honestly, my heart was telling me not to. Because I love Tom Brady and I have been giving CeeDee Lamb some hate. I mean, but I was like, I think it's going to better my team down the long haul, and I can't just be biased from my boy Tom.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was definitely, I mean, like I said, I did the same thing with Pitts. Like I had Mark Andrews tight end 1. I hate Mark Andrews personally, but he is a straight baller. We all know that. And but I think Pitts' value holds higher longer over a longer period of time. So I agree with you, man. Plus me and Ryan are huge on CD, man. I'm a CD believer. I think he's an absolute stud.
If you had any wide receivers, I'd trade them to you.
I'll take CD off your hands any day, buddy.
Hey, bro, don't hate on Elijah Moore, man.
Let's get it.
I've been trying to get CD from Chalmers, and I ain't got a chance in hell again.
That's like I
tried.
Well, that's what I told Cody. Cody was like, I want Jamar Chase. I was like, yeah, you got a better shot of pigs flying, bud.
Hey, Steve, I see you struggling over there. Click the 2 dots and the 2 lines at the top there to end the draft.
That's all you had to say. Jeez.
My man Deli.
But
Tech support over there.
yeah, thanks for the support, bro. I'm gonna hold on 1 second. There we go.
Hey, there's Spicer.
There's Spice. Welcome
Oh
back,
yeah, I'm
baby.
back. Mhm.
Fellas. Podcast episode didn't take too long. We appreciate the participation, the support, the knowledge on your guys, why you want your guys. We have been planning this episode for probably 2 weeks. Ryan, 2, 3.
Yeah, no, I think we're pushing 3 weeks, honestly.
Yeah.
Seriously, though, I appreciate you guys' time. Thanks for coming on short notice. Welcome back anytime, for real. We're just trying to build a community here, so keep it pushing,
guys.
baby.
We appreciate the support. We're still trying to get better on this end of it, like the podcast stuff. We're figuring it out, but all the boys that have definitely joined in so far, we appreciate it. You guys are welcome back anytime. AJ, Sunday. Marshall, I see you boys Sunday at 2.
Yes, sir.
Marshall, what are you bringing to the draft, man? What are you bringing?
Man, I appreciate y'all for having me. I'll tell you right now, I am the smartest, dumbest person in fantasy football that could ever be happening. I'm telling you, there's no luck. There's no rhyme or reason to the magic, but I'll find a good one. But I'll find a good little drink for us to have. I'll have a good little surprise for us.
Marsh, I love having you in my league, man. I do.
I'm telling you, it's sporadic. You don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's I got some crazy. But my team always seems to be pretty good.
You're always at the top.
Yeah,
You're like the Buffalo Bills, man.
Don't give me that. No,
No, for real. It's a good
I won't be
comparison.
no damn Bill. I won't be no damn Bill. Get me out of here. Fins up, baby. Fins up, baby.
Oh my god.
You sent Steven this full blur on that one. Holy shit.
Said fins up, baby. Oh man. Yeah. You got a jersey you wearing on Sunday? You going
I'll bring my Waddle jersey. Or I got a Chad Pennington jersey. I might just want to show out.
You rocked the Ricky
I
Williams
might want
last
to
year.
show out on my Chad Pennington jersey.
You had the Ricky Williams last year, right?
I did it had the little weed pennant on it.
Yeah.
That's in the vault. That's in the vault.
Oh.
It's a one-time wear. It's a one-time wear.
You gonna frame it?
Chad Pennington, I'm playoff mindset. Chad Pennington's the last quarterback to get us to the playoffs. That's where I'm at right now. Chad Pennington is I'm telling you right now, that's my jersey. That's my Waddle jersey. That's my Waddle.
Hey, I don't know if you checked it out. If you go to the YouTube page, I picked Waddle to be my player for my player banner.
What you mean?
If you go look at the
Player
YouTube page when you're done, you'll look at it. Deli has Jefferson and Kittle. I picked Burrow smoking the cigar and then Waddle doing the penguin dance.
Oh, dude, when I met him, I got the 16x20. Him doing the waddle thing.
Yeah, it's
And I got him in the
Great
orange
Sally.
pen
That's
sign.
so awesome.
And I asked him if it was. I was like, "Is the waddle here to stay?" He said, "We'll see." Him and Tyreek have got to have something cooking up.
Mm.
You know, Tyreek is a end zone like diva guru, so you gotta have. I'm telling you, I have perfected the waddle hands down.
Are we gonna see it on Sunday?
Can we
Here we
see
go.
it
See it on
right now?
Sunday.
Damn,
Some
shit.
preview?
If you win,
Okay.
Shit. I'll tell you right now, I get the waddle going.
If that don't get this video likes, I don't know what
I'm
will.
telling you, the waddle.
We should have started off with that,
It's a
honestly.
celebration.
yeah, bro. You should have started off with the penguin, bro. That was tough.
It's the best end zone celebration known to man.
I don't know, man. The gritty's pretty high, bro.
Yeah, the gritty is
Pretty
tough.
played out. It's washed out. I
That one
Jettas.
picture
And I
last year.
have Jettas.
The waddle is definitely one of one, though.
It is tough.
Yeah.
But anyway, before we go, we got predictions from obviously me, Ryan, AJ, and Frankie. Marshall, Spicer, Chuntz. That's predictions, Super Bowl predictions going into the 2022 season. What do you got?
Well, the Ravens are definitely going to be on the AFC side. So
And
we
then
got the MVP Lamar Jackson coming back. You know, a whole new regime on the defense with the Michigan. Was it Michigan? Did we take Michigan or Notre Dame?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Coordinator.
Hey,
Yeah, so.
I did give credit when credit is due. The Ravens are definitely no fly zone.
They
Yeah.
killed that draft, first
Yeah.
of all.
That's what we do.
they barely
part of
cracked
the
my
ball.
AFC top 5.
Yeah. Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
What you got, boys? Super Bowl predictions, man. Let's hear it.
In the NFC, I hate to say it, Rams have a very good chance at running it back.
It's
I
hard.
think they
It's
could run
hard.
it back between them. And Brady has the luck of Zeus by his side. That's a tough call, but I like Rams running it back. And then with AFC, I fucking hate to hear it, and I don't even like hearing it come out of my mouth. And I don't even. I'm pulling it. I'm pulling it back. I really am. But I think the Bills might have a chance. And I'm pulling it back, but I think Rams and Bills. I hate saying it. I really hate it. But I think Josh Allen's due.
Yeah.
I think he's due for one, and
Yeah, for sure. That Bills team has just been so good, and it just keeps getting better and better.
I tell you, I think that Bills Chiefs game, we'd still be watching it if they were still playing. If they were allowed to keep
Yeah.
going, I really do.
They'd have to cut it off and start the next morning.
Yeah. Spicer, who you got, bud?
I agree with the Rams. I don't know that any other NFC team is going to have the firepower to beat the Rams when it all comes down to it. But I have a little bit different take in the AFC. I'm kind of on the Chargers bandwagon, especially after they got Khalil Mack. I like what they've done building pieces throughout these last couple of years. I feel like they will probably meet the Bills in the playoffs, and it's going to come to another shootout like it did with Mahomes and Allen last year. And I just think Herbert's going to get it done.
I like it.
I don't. No love for the Bucks.
Yeah,
I
the
Bucks-
NFC, it's either the Bucks or the Rams, in my opinion. So
That's
tough,
between.
man.
It's hard for a team to go back to the Super Bowl. I don't think the Rams get back there.
I don't know. They
Rams
just
got
keep getting
better,
better and better. Even though
They
they
did,
have
man.
money.
They got better.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, how do you add Bobby Wagner and not expect it to get?
I mean, you lost Von Miller, you lost Andrew Whitworth.
But you got Bobby Wagner.
You got Bobby Wagner. I'm not discrediting that.
Whitworth hurts too.
Whitworth does hurt. Whitworth does hurt. A 40-year-old All-Pro does hurt.
I guarantee you they could find somebody. Not saying they'll get Whitworth style, but you'll get somebody who can get 10% at below 10% production rate.
The Buccaneers were
Get them.
one fucking stupid ass play away from going to overtime with the Rams if we didn't play single high coverage on Cooper Kupp. with 5 seconds left in the game. We play single high coverage against the Triple Crown winner. A terrible play call. And we're like, let's promote Todd Bowles, the head coach, because of that play.
Immediately after.
You'll never hear me cheer for for Tom Brady a day in my life. I go to sleep and I see Cameron Wake, Tom Brady, Cameron Wake, just this. That's what I go to sleep at night on. Right there. I out cold. Watch those highlights. I can't.
I'm gonna have to look it up after the stream.
It's about 1 of 5 of them of Tom Brady actually getting hit. But if you look it up, it's like a solar eclipse of Tom Brady actually getting hit. But Cameron Wake has 1 of them. It's stellar.
Yeah, I'd say my pick would definitely be Bills Rams Super Bowl.
I just want to see Josh in the bowl. I already said that my projection. I think the Rams probably going to run it back, but I would love to see Josh win one, man. And it's only a matter of time, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
At some point, the Rams are going to, run out of money, and those players are going to have to go somewhere else. So
who ends up with more rings?
Too late, though. The cap space don't really exist.
Josh Allen or Justin Herbert? Who has more rings?
I'm going to say Herbert. I like Herbert.
He has a tough division, then. That's the thing. His division's really tough.
They are tough.
Herbert has the nuts.
Josh Allen doesn't?
Nope. Sure don't. He's a Bill. I just use him for what he's good at.
I'm going to say that's your dynasty QB1. No nuts.
I just use him. I just use him for the points. I don't cheer for him.
That's gotta be his name. That's gotta be his nickname. No nuts. Fellas, man, it's been good having you.
You got once somebody finally is on the wave of Davis Mills, then I can change my team name. Someone's got to be on the Mills Mafia. Somebody's got to be there.
I'm on the wave. I've got him too.
Thank you. The guy's got an arm. He's got an arm.
He does.
For days.
I like him.
And he might have a better arm and might be crazy. I see the head turnings here. I saw the head turns. He might have a better arm. There. Josh Allen, goddamn, Justin Herbert.
Shut the pot off.
I ain't gonna say it loud.
Wrap it up, Steve. Go get the cane. Pull this man off.
Make sure you cut this last bit out.
Bro.
I ain't saying a full statement, but damn it, he might have a better arm.
Bro, like I said, we all went to school together for so long, man. God damn, AJ, I'm so glad you got Marshall in your goddamn team.
There's a method to my madness, and I'm telling you, it works about 20% of the time.
Hey, fellas, I appreciate the participation. I appreciate the support. Hey, Ryan, anything else to say?
Yeah, I'm still here watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what we're doing wrong, what you like. Trying to grind out content. Just let us know what's going on, what you want to see. We're more than open to ideas.
Yeah, we were thinking about next episode, AJ, switching it up a little bit. We've done a lot of coverage here. Me and Ryan were talking about it. What's your favorite sports movie ever?
I don't know. I really like 42.
42.
Obviously everybody likes Sandlot, it's a classic. Rudy's good.
Hey, let's not get into it too much. We'll wait for the pod.
Yeah, nothing crazy. I was a big fan of 42. I'm a baseball guy.
I gotta remember the Titans as my number one. But anyway, something like that. Ryan wanted to do something switched up a little different. Ryan wanted to do a tier list of jerseys in the NFL. Who has the best jerseys? Who has the worst? Ryan wanted to do a sports podcast or a podcast on the sports movies that, big in our lives. I mean, we've seen a lot. Something like that. Change it up. We've done a lot of football coverage over the last 7 episodes. So just do a little fun podcast, something like that.
Yeah,
anybody wants to join, things like that. Other than that, boys, we're done for the night. We appreciate it. Thank you, guys.